use Knut. If you want to learn how to set up Knut, you should watch update number 3 inside my Kickstarter. So currently we're looking at the Knut interface homepage, and this is where you see all of the Knuts associated with the same email address. So we're going to look at Home Freezer. So I'm going to tap on it to expand it, and now you can see all of the sensors which are attached to this Knut. So freezer temp is an external temperature sensor that I've placed inside of a freezer. Air temp is the internal temperature sensor of Knut, and battery is the battery level of Knut. So I'm going to tap on freezer temp, and this pulls up a graph. And currently we're on the day scale, so that means that every rectangle that we see here is 1 day. So I'm going to select the hour scale, and now each rectangle represents 1 hour. And you can see that by the markers on the bottom of the graph. So I can tap anywhere on the graph and I can get the current value in the upper right corner. So I guess at 3:37 it was 3.7 degrees inside the freezer. So you can also scroll back in time. And we get to this really spiky area. And this spiky area actually is the freezer cycling on and off. And what's happening is the temperature is rising in the freezer, and then the freezer turns on and then drops the temperature. And this happens over and over and over again. So I didn't like how noisy it was making my graph. So I took a bag of vegetables and stuck it on top of the sensor, and that caused the graph to smooth out. So I also learned something interesting about this freezer by putting a Knut on it. And I learned that the freezer goes through defrost cycles, and you can see this huge peak right here, and this is caused by the freezer turning on a heater inside of it, which raises the walls of the freezer to above freezing, and that prevents ice from building up on the walls of the freezer. So you can see at 3:49 it was 35.6 degrees. This actually happens a few times a day. We can go back in time some more, and we can see that at 12:24 it was 34.7 degrees, and then the temperature fell again when it turned the freezer back on. So let's say I wanted to change the name of freezer temp. We can go press the edit button, and that will pull up the config sensor page. And this is where you can change the name. We're now just going to call it freezer. And this is where we're going to set the thresholds. So the high threshold right now is 15, and the low threshold is -5. I'm not going to change these thresholds right now. I'm satisfied with the way that they are. So let's say we also wanted to change the rate at which Knut monitors the freezer. So we can click on Config Device. It's giving me a warning page because I just changed settings on another page, and I did not press sync. I'll show you this in a little bit. So we can see right here where it says read settings, 9 recordings per email. We can go and change this, and we can set the time per reading. So we can set this to a faster value. So let's say it's now going to record freezer every 3 minutes. And then we can make it so it will send us an email every 12. And that will make it so there is an email every 12 minutes. And so you can see the read setting value changed. We can also see in the same page what Wi-Fi network we're attached to, what IP address Knut has, a bunch of other features. Oh, and the alert email as well. And so now we can press sync, and now the Knut interface sends an email to Knut. And next time Knut sends an email, it will check its email as well, and it will apply these settings. If we want these settings to be applied now, we can go and click the black button on Knut, and it will update it immediately. Otherwise, you just need to wait the period of time that it takes for Knut to send one email. And that's how you use Knut. Thank you.